why we feel bad. And so that's part of why I want to share this with you, because if you want to have a better mood and be more productive, you might want to consider the benefits of full spectrum sunlight and working next to a window or with incandescents, and avoiding the fluorescents and the LEDs, because these might be making you feel bad and you're not realizing why. So that's going to then take me, again, turn the page again to the next and the final section of this talk, where I talk about what the things we can do now and maybe consider for our future of humanity, what we want to do to make our lives more productive and more enjoyable, to where it's worth doing what we got our degrees in college to do, or what we have passion for. We don't want to go get our degrees and have passion for doing science or whatever it is you want to do, and then have to do it in fluorescence and then just never feel good. So what I do is in the morning and noon and afternoon, I try to get as much sun as possible, even if it's just walking to my car or timing my errands during the day when it's sunny, and not doing them at night. And also minimizing my time in stores like that have the fluorescence, which is pretty much every store. I have a black visor that I wear, and I have some amber glasses that I always put on before I go into a store with fluorescence, and it makes a huge difference. Now, I realize it doesn't get rid of the flicker, but it does get rid of the blue portion of the flicker, and that seems to make a huge difference for me. I still don't feel that happy when I'm in the stores, but I don't get a headache. If I have a hat on and this, and preferably a thick jacket, because that prevents any light from getting through to your body. So, I mean, that's just personally what I do. Everybody has to find what works for them, what you're more comfortable with. And then when I come out of the store, I, put on my glasses. And I also like to spend as much time in the sun as possible without any glasses at all, because I believe that we need unfiltered light into our eyes. And the glasses filter out some of the infrared, as well as some of the colors, as well as a lot of the UV. So I'm just saying, you don't want to stare at the sun or anything, but I like to have, maybe 10 minutes a day. I wish I could have more where I'm just not protected with the glasses. I believe that we need all the ambient light, the black body radiation coming from all the ambient things around us to go to our body and not have our eyes always blocked. It can't be a good thing to always have those there. And sometimes when I'm working on the computer and I can't have it dimmed, like say I'm working on an art project and I have to really look at the colors, at least I'll wear a 10% amber tint, and this tends to not interfere with the colors at all, but it just gently reduces the blue, similar to blue blocking eyeglasses. And maybe it reduces some of the blue, but not enough to completely prevent the damage. But it's just a milder form of protection. At home, when I'm not using any computers, I use my regular glasses. Now, I also have two screens, which are black and white. They're e-paper screens. One is a Kindle, which I use for reading books when I travel, rather than reading them on my cell phone, which is, of course, backlit LED. So I use the e-ink screens. And then now there's a new screen, 13-inch screen that is able to be linked to your computer, and it's called BOOX, BOOX. It's very expensive. The 13-inch screen is about this big, and maybe about an inch smaller this way. Anyway, no, it's not. We're not quite that big. Sorry. Yeah, it's more like 13 inches, so it's about to here, there. Anyway, it's big enough to be able to read PDF files. And I use it when I'm, say, editing, not typing a lot, but editing a manuscript. I found that the only problem is that my mouse moves quite slowly. But if I'm really impatient and I'm doing a lot of mouse clicks, I'll look over at the other screen. I realize this is a lot of work, and you probably don't want to do that. But since I'm very, very sensitive, and I'm just thrilled that they finally have a black and white screen to use, I'm going to put up with it, and I'm actually getting pretty used to it, and that now I accept it, and it doesn't bother me at all. At first it was a little irritating, but now since I'm used to it, it's really nice, and I find that my eyes just don't hurt because it's like looking at paper. You can actually watch videos on the book screen as well. It's just that the videos have to be people like videos like this one where people are talking and maybe showing graphs. You know, if it's a high action film, forget it, you know, because the frame rate is just way too low. Thank you very much, and I really love this field, and I want to help you not get eye damage. I didn't really mention that high levels of blue cause macular degeneration, and the macula is the portion of the retina that's right in the middle. That's where all the cone cells are concentrated. The cone cells are the color cells, and so if you're looking at, say, a piece of art and you're staring at a little dot and you're looking at the detail of the paint, that's your macula. And if that's damaged, then when you look at a page with letters or art or something, you want to see the detail, it'll all be grayed. And that's macular degeneration. And we don't want that to happen, but it's becoming rampant in our society. And all the elderly people that I know have it. And they have found that it's caused by looking at computer screens and using LEDs. And that's just proof that the blue light from, you know, the high energy blue light from the LEDs right here is causing your macula in your retina, the high detail part of your retina that sees details, to generate a lot of free radicals, and there's no infrared in that light to help repair it. Couple that with the fact that the retina itself, the macula in particular, have the least amount of blood vessels compared to any other organ in your entire body. So the blood vessels in the retina and the macula in particular are very far spaced apart, and so it's really hard to get nutrients in and toxins out of that region. So that is going to be the first place that the blue light will do damage, because it's the hardest to regenerate. So that's just all the more reason why you should protect yourself from excess amounts of blue light and get as much natural sunlight as possible, which has the infrared. There are infrared products out there that are made from LEDs that are at the 660 and the 810 wavelengths that I said were healthy, and they're over here in the near infrared, and that's the rejuvenating wavelengths that activate this cytochrome C oxidase chromophores in our mitochondria that produce ATP. And so a lot of people that live in climates that have no sun, like say all winter, like in up north, mostly in the winter, like say on the West Coast in Seattle, I mean, it's just cloudy all the time. So they might want to use these products, and that would be make sure it doesn't flicker. So it's just it's not using pulse width modulation. It would be the red LED and the near infrared LEDs that are just always on with no pulse width modulation, and then you can apply them to different parts in your body. Some people put them on their head to prevent Alzheimer's, and also even to cure Alzheimer's. That's relatively new, but that may be the new way that we treat Alzheimer's, is to put the mitochondria rejuvenating wavelengths into the places that are hurting because we aren't exposing ourselves to natural sunlight. So I have a small pad about this big that has rows of the 660 red and the 810 near infrared in it, and I apply it, like if I have right now, I have a sore hand from overuse of the guitar, and then sometimes my knees get hurt, and I use it there, and my lower back or my kidneys, or wherever I have an ache, and I put it there, it does always feel better. And so I've been using that for about a year, and it's just a good thing to have. I think all people should have one of those pads so that they can treat their body whenever it's hurting, and then it helps the mitochondria to produce ATP, which is what that local part of your body needs in order to heal whatever has happened to it. It's just the repair mechanism, and you need ATP for that. So I've talked about humans evolving in the natural sunlight, and then I've talked about all the different, some examples of biochemical reactions that we use with the full spectrum sunlight in order to symbiotically exist with the sun happily. And then I've talked about how technology has given us artificial light spectrum that's basically taken away the nutrients that we need. And then I closed by saying what you can do to protect yourself from this technology. And I'll close by saying that if there was any one thing I think you could do to help your health, it would be to get a pair of these blue blockers for nighttime use. Because for $50, if you can block the blue and get your melatonin production up at night and get good sleep, that'll go a very, very long way in ensuring that you have a happy and a healthy life, because that'll allow your brain to be healthy, your body to have the repair and rejuvenation mechanism that it needs at night so that you can have a good day. It also keeps your metabolism balanced. And just almost every single disease is prevented or helped heal by getting proper sleep. So that would be my number one recommendation. 2 is try to keep out of or protect yourself from the flickering lights from fluorescent tube lamps. Don't buy CFCs in your home or LEDs unless it's just to light the garage and you hardly ever go in there. And if you're sensitive, don't even put LEDs in your garage because, for example, when I go into a garage with LEDs, I do feel quite bad. So I have to really protect myself, and if people have LEDs in their homes, I really can't go in them. Now, I'm an exception. I'm not saying that you would be that way. If I could go in there, I certainly would, because I think friendship and celebrating dinner with your friends is much more important than staying out of the lights. But if it gives me a headache, then I literally can't do it. So that's one of the reasons, I guess, why I'm in this field, because I have a passion to understand it and to protect myself from it, and then hopefully I can help you. So thank you for listening. I hope it's helped you. If you like my channel, I would love it if you subscribe and comment and like and ask questions, and we can all learn together. Thank you so much. And the music that I use on my channels is my own, because I don't want to step on anyone's copyright. So you may like it, you may not like it, but it is copyright free. So thanks for listening, and until next time, peace everybody. Begins to open.